Stop moving. You're making all noise. Welcome, 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 everybody. You are live, Rhonda's Room, Over the Top TV. And tonight, my guest is Rachel Hartman. And boy, do we have a great show for you tonight. Wait till you hear what this chick does. She is so talented. And this girl's got serious skills, y'all. So make sure you share this now. And if you want to go ahead and comment if you're on Facebook, just go ahead and comment, and I'll bring it up on the screen. Let us know where you're watching from. You can ask questions. You can just say, hey, whatever. But we want you to interact and share this with everybody. So, Rachel, thank you so much for being my guest tonight. Go ahead and just introduce yourself to everybody.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me, first of all. And my name is Rachel Hartman. I'm a puppeteer, props artist, many other things, based in Savannah, Georgia. I'm a recent graduate from Georgia Southern University with a degree in theater. And awesome. I'm traveling through life at this point.
Awesome. Yeah, I was so excited. I'll tell everybody how we met. Okay, we met through the Donovan, who was my very first guest, who started this whole show off. And you were commenting so much on his show, and then he started telling me about you and told me that you did the puppets for his holiday spectacular, and you do all kinds of cool stuff. And so I reached out to you, and then once I started talking, you was like, "Oh my God, this chick is bad right here. She's got all kinds of skills." And then, you know, we have so much in common with the theater. Okay, there goes Donovan right there. The Donovan right there. Hey, the Donovan, how are you, baby? How are you? Share this. So now let's just get a little bit of background information. So you have a degree in theater. That's impressive right there.
Thank you.
So what started your interest in theater? And let's just start there. What started your interest in theater?
So my dad has been such an instrumental part in what I do as a living now, for my living now. He has always taken us to Broadway shows. He's a pastor. He's a Lutheran pastor here in Savannah. And he essentially creates his own little musicals every single year.
Nice.
So something completely different, something just unique. And I've been a part of that and growing up with that ever since I was a little kid. So just like as I got older and it became kind of decided to figure out what I wanted to do, I was like, that's it. That's
okay. So you got the theater bug. You got the bug. Okay. What was your first Broadway show that you saw?
Ooh.
Do you remember?
I'm gonna say Roger and Hammerstein's Cinderella.
Okay.
I think that was it.
Okay.
If not, it's very close. It's one of my earliest memories.
I saw one Broadway production in my life on Broadway, and it was Chorus Line. And I'll tell you what, Rachel, when I saw that changed my life. And that started my love of performing arts. And I was going out with this guy, and his mother had tickets, and because we lived in the Poconos at the time, which was like 30 minutes from New York City, and she was going to see the chorus line, and I remember, man, when all those mirrors turned, oh my God, I got chills, and just being on Broadway, like the Broadway in New York City, it was incredible.
It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and that's when I started. I didn't even know that planted a seed in me for theater, and later I would get into acting, you know, and I prefer theater acting over film acting any day.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because in high school, I grew up doing like film classes and stuff, and I have a bunch of old cringy films that I have made.
All right.
They still exist on my hard drive, but that's that's what I thought I wanted to do. I was like, I want to be in film. I want to learn cinematography. But then I just kind of remembered consciously my love of theater, and I was like, I can do both. So I kind of dabble in both now, but mainly in theater.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you like about, what's the draw to theater for you?
That anything can happen, and you're making something appear out of nothing.
Yes.
You have CGI in films and stuff, and that's cool. It takes a lot of talent to do that. I'm not knocking that in any sense. But when you see something, an effect happen on stage, when you see something just incredible that you wouldn't see just walking around on the street, and that's right there in front of you happening live, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And it just,
yeah, it does. It's like a feeling that you can't describe, and just being, you know, interacting with a live audience, because they will tell you in 2 seconds, they will boo you off stage, or, you know, they will cheer you on, and then you can tell just by looking, like they'll be crying depending on what your thing is. And it's like you really have the ability to move people in theater. And yeah, that's what I love about it. And there's nothing like, you know, there are no retakes. There is no reset in theater. There is no take 4, take 5. No, it's do or die, sink or swim. And so how long did you act before you found out that you had a talent or a desire to create props and puppets, and how did you go from the forefront into the scenery part?
So I didn't actually act that long. Throughout my college career, I continued to do like small, like minor acting parts, like for little festivals we had, and like 10-minute plays and directed scenes. But I never actually did like a main stage show. Because I think I really initially found, when I got into college, I was like, I'm gonna do everything. Like, I'm here for a reason. I'm here for a short time, not a long time, hopefully, in college regards. But I knew that I wanted to do everything. So I volunteered in the set shop. I volunteered with costumes. I worked on every single production in some form or fashion in my college university years. And I just wanted all of that experience. And I was in one of my first theater classes where it was kind of like a summary over everything. And we had to pick like one section of the show to design. And I designed the props for one of them. And my teacher, my professor was like, you know what?
You got a talent. Yeah.
Awful. So that's kind of how I got into doing props and stuff. And then puppetry came in that very class. Because she showed us a video from War Horse on stage in London. I saw that and I was like, it goes back to, you can't train a horse to be on stage.
No,
like it's not gonna happen. But you're able to bring these massive creatures to life with just sheer mechanics and human operators. It's incredible. People can ride on top of them. Like,
really?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
They ride around them on stage, and it is incredible.
That's got to be a feat of strength for sure. You know,
Absolutely.
you got somebody like holding it up and then other people on top
like
and
on
stuff.
the shoulders.
Oh, wow.
It's very, very hard, but it's beautiful.
Okay. So what is the biggest thing that you've created puppet wise or prop wise?
Prop wise, it's could be I created a massive shroud for a play called Anonymous, and it was like hand woven and stuff, and it was like 6 feet by 6 feet, maybe more than that. And that was a huge undertaking because it was my first prop I'd done for a show.
Okay.
And it was a lot.
Okay.
I guess I made a massive rabbit head one time for an octoroon, which is supposed to represent like Briar Rabbit and different stories.
Right.
But that was like pretty big out there.
Okay. So what's the difference between a prop and a puppet? Especially if you're like riding horses and stuff. Is that considered a prop or is that considered a puppet?
Ooh, we're falling into interesting territory here. Usually a puppet you describe as something you give innate life to.
Okay.
Like you give it physicalizations, whether that's animalistic, humanistic. Like if I took this and I started going like that, that could be dubbed a puppet.
Okay.
A prop is mainly it's just what you find on stage during the show. What's called for in the script, what's not called for.
Okay.
Whatever adjustments you have to make. Those are the main distinctions. But there is some crossover.
Okay. So when you're creating these, so you go to school for theater, which is one thing, but how do you learn to become, before I ask that, define what a puppeteer is. What's a puppeteer?
So a puppeteer is someone who controls and operates a puppet. They're in charge. They can be in charge of the physicalizations. They can be in charge of just pure mouth movements. It just depends on the style of puppet they're using.
Okay. And so what are the different kinds of puppets? Because like a lot of people think of puppets, you put your hand in and you do a little thing, but then like recently puppets are really, really huge. Like even, what was it? American Idol or something, like the girl won and she was a puppet person and she had all these different puppets. And then you got the Muppets and like, what are the different types of puppets?
All right. So I have.
Oh, do we have samples?
Yes, we have some samples.
Yay!
This is the one I made for the Donovan.
Okay. Ooh. Oh, wow.
Hello.
Oh, that's nice right there.
And this could be considered a hands puppet, but also a rod.
Okay.
Because I'm operating it by a rod.
Okay. So how does somebody do that? Like if you're filming or if you're on stage, like how do you get, because I always wondered that, like when they have all these different movements, it's not just the mouth anymore. And they're like, is it just one person that operates that like turns the head and does the hands? And
it honestly depends on the puppet and on the budget people have.
Okay.
But this one would just be operated like I have two arm holds right here.
Okay.
But it's just a matter of whatever I'm moving at what time.
Okay. So who is this? What's his name?
Well, this is Miss Holiday.
Oh, it's a miss. Okay, sorry.
I know. She's gonna come after you.
Okay.
She was created.
I thought I saw a mustache at the top there, like under the nose. So that's why I thought it was Mr. Oh, okay, gotcha.
But she was created to represent a couple of holidays we were celebrating for the Donovan's Holiday Spectacular. So she has Jewish memorabilia on with her dreidel, her challah, and then she has poinsettias for Christmas along with the popcorn garlands, and then a kufi for Kwanzaa.
Right.
And on her back, she has
Oh,
a
nice.
Chinese bull.
Wow. Okay, so you made all of that?
Mm-hmm.
So how did you make that? Like that's incredible. Like where do you start?
I found a really, really good video online that helped me with some fundamental aspects of it. But a lot of stuff I do involves like experimentation and just seeing what works best.
Okay.
And this is one of the first puppets I built that's in this style.
Wow. That's really good. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. This is what else
All right. So how long does that take to make a puppet like that?
Oh goodness, that took me weeks.
Okay.
Definitely weeks. I mean, not like obviously not like straight and stuff.
Right.
But I had just weeks to gather supplies, weeks to work on it,
Mm-hmm.
make adjustments, all that.
Yeah.
Stuff.
So what kind of research goes into when you're creating a puppet? Because a puppet has a personality.
Mm-hmm.
So like, how do you, when you're creating a puppet or somebody comes to you and says they want a puppet, like what does that conversation go like? Do they explain, is it just like acting where you get a character script, you got to bring it to life, or like, how do you bring a puppet to life?
The most helpful ones are ones that are like character scripts, because of having like that theater background. I can dissect a script like no one's business. It's not hard.
Okay. Okay.
So that definitely helps, but also knowing what kind of puppet they want and what they need it for, because different puppets will be used for different things, and they should know the limitations, because puppetry is amazing, but there are definite limitations, especially when you're working on a budget.
Okay. So that puppet that you just made, that you just showed, what kind of puppet is that called?
That would be dubbed a hand puppet.
Okay.
And possibly hand and rod puppet.
Hand and rod. Okay. Okay. All right. And then so what's another type of puppet? What's a whole different type of puppet?
Go back to one of my very first ones.
Okay.
This is an armature puppet.
Oh wow.
He's used for stop motion films.
Okay. And you made that too?
Mm-hmm. This was back in high school. He stayed with me.
Wow. Really?
Mm-hmm.
So you got to have some kind of like major art training or background or sculpting, or like, how do you like create that from scratch?
I've always been a very creative person, especially as a kid. My sister and I grew up and we make a Harry Potter world out of Play-Doh. We had every single character, every single item, and we sculpted all of our stuff out of.
Wow.
So a lot of my clay sculpting came from there, but I don't really have any like professional art training.
Get out of here. Oh my God. See, I would think you have all kinds of art training and on top of theater and everything, because those are fantastic. I mean, they're works of art.
I appreciate that. I'm very proud of this piece and the stop motion I did. It's
okay. So is that, when you say stop motion, is that like, and forgive me because I don't know anything about this, so don't get all over me if I get all the terms wrong, but like I'm thinking like claymation type things, like those old cartoons, like David and Goliath, Davy and Goliath, or those the claymation, like even the Christmas specials, how do they create those?
So those,
like, do they have to move every single millisecond and then shoot in?
Yes, I am a complete novice.
Really?
Totally novice. But from what I did and what I understand, you have to move with like every shot, basically. It's
wow. That's got to be tedious beyond tedious. Wow. Okay. All right. So so what's another kind of puppet?
Ooh,
Okay.
We have marionettes, but wow.
Oh. Don't break nothing, Jesus.
This is one of the marionettes I made for the Donovan show.
Okay.
He's just a little moody teenage boy.
Okay. So what is a marionette? What is the definition of a marionette?
So a marionette is operated by strings and like a little hand system up top.
Okay, so like what you would normally see, like Puppet Master, where you see the things and you go like this, and the more strings they kind of. Okay, that's marionette puppet. Okay.
Yeah, when you think about a puppet, usually marionette's the one that would come to mind.
Right. Okay, very cool. Now with all the different types of, because you sent, I went all through your page and I saw all these different types of puppets and. I don't know if they'd be called props, puppets, whatever. They were like animals, stilts. You got fantasy makeup, you got body painting, you got all kinds of stuff. You know, that where you had all the green. I'm assuming that was you. You know, where you look like a tree goddess or something. Yes. It was absolutely gorgeous. So did you do that yourself?
Yeah, I had a little help with my sister, but I don't know. I felt like doing some makeup one day, and then it kind of stuck for a couple months, and we did pieces every couple weeks.
See, I would. Okay, so you got my imagination going, because like I'm like branding myself and modeling and stuff like that. I'm doing, and I like stuff like that, like something totally out of the box that nobody else has, that where you actually become something. And you know, oh yeah, we'll definitely have to
I would love to.
We definitely have to.
Love to.
That would be so much fun. That would be so much fun. All right. So okay, so with the props, what kind of props do you make? Is that like background stuff, like if you're making a scenery, or the only thing I can think of is like what I know, like when you see, say, Tyler Perry on stage and he's got the whole house, 2-story house, and everybody's in different rooms. So that obviously is a stage prop. That's a prop, right? Yeah. Or is that called something else?
So a prop is usually dubbed something that the actor can pick up and readily like move on stage. Usually couches, tables, those aren't really considered props. Now if you have like if you have a chair or something that has a breakaway leg and a leg has to break away, that can be considered a prop.
Okay.
It's a very fine line, and it's defined differently by different people.
Okay. So, I know so many screenwriters and playwrights, and you know, I remember when we were putting productions together, shoot, a lot of times we would just try to piece together the background ourselves. So if somebody wants to contact you and hire you, what is the process like? Do you have, what's your social media, or like how does somebody contact you if they want a set, a puppet, whatever?
Perfect. So one of the easiest ways to contact me is through my email, and that's all lowercase, Rachel Hartman, number 6 @gmail.com. And that's one of the best ways. I'm still a very diligent student, so I'm good at answering my emails, I promise.
Gotcha. I'm going to type that up while you're saying Rachel Hartman 6, you said?
Yes.
Okay, @Gmail. All right.
And that's the best way. My phone number is always a decent option too. Just be 912-713-8470.
Oh gosh, hold on. See, you didn't give me this when we started. 912, what is the rest of it?
713-8470.
All right. There we go. Is that right?
Yes.
So you only gave me your IG. I got your IG. That's it.
You just asked for the IG.
And then IG is RAC and then Hartman. And Hartman has 2 N's. That's correct, right? So when you're trying to contact her.
Mm-hmm.
So when somebody tries, wants to hire you or contact you, what information do you need? Oh, Kina said, thank you, Kina. She said, I look beautiful. If you only knew, Kina. 5 minutes before the show. When somebody wants to hire you and they want to get you to create something for them, what information do you need from them in order to produce a quote or whatever? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what's the process?
It'll depend on, I guess first they'll have to give me information about what the project is, what they're looking for.
Okay.
And if they don't have like complete information, give me the time to do it for them.
Okay.
But really just like a detailed thing, how many puppets you need, what kind of prop you're looking for, the size you're looking for. That all depends on what I do in the coming steps. And I can kind of deliberate a price from that point on.
Okay. So do you have like any kind of business put together or something, or like a nonprofit or anything, or are people just contacting you directly right now?
People are just contacting me directly right now because.
All right. Typical starving student in college, man.
No. We're just get it out.
Yep. So yeah, you should create something. You need to create your own company doing that. And yeah, definitely with the talent that you have. So yeah, we can talk offline. I can help you with all of that, get you a website, I do all that stuff. So yeah. Presentation is everything. Like my mother always told me, so how you present yourself is how people will perceive you. The Donovan saying, everybody hire her. Yes, hire her. Now I know I saw one thing, you have some amazing, I don't know if they're called masks, but they look like masks to me. They're like these weird heads that make no sense.
This little boy.
Okay, yeah, that's like a Venetian carnival mask. That looks like.
Yeah, it's kind of I designed it as a plague doctor mask.
Okay.
I was practice papier-mâché work, so this was one of the things that came out of that practice.
Nice. Oh, the Donovan is giving you all kinds of support. He's like, she designs clothes too. Okay, we got more to talk about. All right, we have a question. So Kina is asking this. Have you ever turned a children's book into a play or anything? Ooh, that's a good. Kina is the question girl, man. She's my assistant. She comes up with some questions.
I haven't personally, but I have worked on a production at my summer stock theater of A Year in Frog and Toad, which is based on children's stories and stuff. And that was a lot of fun. I definitely enjoyed that.
Oh, you and I are gonna talk. I'm working on a kid's book, and I got ideas for plays and stuff too. That I want to bring to life, like adult plays. And oh yeah, we're gonna do a lot of talking off this. I even like years ago, I reserved the name for an acting company because I was with acting and stuff. I ended up my director had me start training the actors and doing all the auditions and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? Let me create my own company. So I created a company and I reserved the name and everything. And like here and there, I'll train. Okay, so she's going to be coming back. All right, so I will keep talking. All right, let me just tell her to log back in. Okay. All right, so let's put up these comments for the Donovan. All right, so we'll get that answer, Kina, when she comes back. All right, so the Donovan is saying she is the most amazing person and the hardest worker I've ever met. That's incredible. That's incredible. Nothing like, having somebody support you that does your work and everything. Okay, and the Donovan wrote, she can literally build everything. I love that. I love that so much. All right, let me see. I text her. All right, so she should be coming back on. We'll just give her a couple minutes here to get reconnected. And it's so funny because I always tell everybody when they do these shows, I'm like, your best bet is to log in on the computer, not the phone, because the phones usually drop. But we had a issue with the volume earlier. So here she comes. She's back. All right. There she is. Okay. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. All right. We're just going to work out some. You know what, guys?
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, I'm gonna let me do this. I'm going to take a break real quick. We'll be right back in 1 minute so you can get all situated. Okay, we are back. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
For you too. All right, so let's put the question back up. Kina, have you ever turned a children's book into a play or anything? And you had started to answer that. Okay,
so
that's okay. That's okay.
I haven't done it personally, but I have worked on different, I guess, shows that are based off books. Like I worked on Junie B. Jones, the musical, as a props master on it. I worked on Frog and Toad as a intern, and I think it's really cool. I'd love to adopt like my own kind of play for.
Okay. That's cool. We got lots to talk. We got a lot. We'll brainstorm. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna brainstorm. Creative minds coming together. Well, shoot, and if we get Kina in the mix, you're gonna have stuff for days. I mean, yeah. All right, so I'm gonna show you some of these comments that the Donovan was had put up that you had missed, but I want to make sure you see them. He said, "She's the most amazing person and the hardest worker I have ever met."
Oh.
Doesn't that feel good?
That feels so nice. It's nice to be recognized.
He's a former client. I mean, it's nothing like getting a testimonial.
Mm-hmm. Very
and
true.
I know, guys, I don't know. We're just going to roll with it. All right. So he also wrote, she can literally build anything.
Don't know about that, but I can try.
There you go. All right, let's see. Okay, he says she took a script and completely brought it to life. Okay, so let's talk about that. When you said you can rip a script apart, what do you look for? What are your key things that you look for in the script to give you direction on puppet or props that you're creating?
On a puppet. So on props. So on props, I first make like a preliminary read through the script, and I'll just read through it kind of just for me, myself, so I can understand what's going on. And then I go back in detail and I have my props list next to me, and I start one by one going down the line. And I'm just like, okay, so let's see, couch, or let's see, tea table, scene 4, page 2, and it'll just continue on like that. It'll describe exactly where the prop's located, and then it'll also have a little description section where if there are specific notes in the play itself about the prop that I put in there. So it's made a note of, and you'll have an idea of what it is, and it pays tribute to the play and the author's wishes.
Okay, awesome. Very good. So what is a typical turnaround time? Now, I know it would depend on the type of puppet or the type of prop, but typically if somebody's going to reach out to you, unless they got a big production coming up, how much time should they allow you to create what they need typically?
Typically I'd need at least probably a month. I would say a month. It does depend on the show. It depends on whether it's historical or not. It depends on, there are a lot of little factors that go into that, but I would say at least a month starting point.
Oh. Okay. All right, very good. I got another question. And guys, I know it's echoing. When we were getting ready earlier, that's one of the things we were trying to figure out is where the echo is, if it's on my side or her side. But yeah, so I'm sorry, just bear with the echo. So Keena has got another question. What would you say is the hardest part of your job?
Hardest part of my job is probably, let's say, confidence. It's hard. I'd say so. You're in a room with so many talented people and you see yourself in there, and it's kind of hard to envision yourself as one of them there. I've struggled a lot throughout college with my confidence level, working on shows and stuff. It's been honestly a very big challenge, many a night just like crying in the theater. You grow from it, and that's one of the most important things. And I know how it affects me now, and I know kind of what to look out for, but still it's hard because it's not an easy industry. It'll chew you out real quick.
Oh, absolutely. And just like, I don't know, and like you and I, this is our first time meeting, and this is usually, it's always like this with guests, usually meet on the set. But one thing you may or may not know about me is I am an actual counselor and coach and therapist and stuff like that. So some of my things that I specialize in, like confidence, anxiety, stress, trauma, I can definitely help you out with all of that. So we can definitely talk offline because you have got incredible talent. And yeah, there's no reason for you to not be confident, but I understand because I struggle with self-confidence too. So, different things. So that it comes from somewhere, and like I could help you at the bottom of that. And
I love it.
Get that fixed for you.
Yes, please.
Unraveled. All right, so you got more comments coming in. You're so creative. Awesome. The Donovan loves you.
I love him.
I do too. I fell in love with him the first time I met him. Like I knew him my whole life. Oh, thank you. Okay, I'm just like clicking through these comments. Okay, so he is also saying, okay, now this is another good topic too. He says you support LGBT women, Black businesses, and charities. Very good. Okay. So do you want to, let's talk about that for a second.
So a lot of my work comes from a place of, I guess you should say, activism in ways. Like a lot of my my one face paint I did where it looks like a complete body paint has no justice, no peace right here. That was in the height.
I should pull that up. Oh shoot.
That's the picture in the background.
I'm going to, okay.
My dad did it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Your dad is
he's very artistic too. It's probably one of the places I get it from.
Okay.
But yeah, so especially now, the older I get, social justice issues really mean a lot to me. And I have seen how one person's voice can leave a resounding impact. So a lot of my art deals with that too. Like my one, even my one like fairy garden looking makeup has ties to pollution and it's kind of like the destruction of our planet.
Really? I didn't realize that. I just thought it was gorgeous.
Thank you. There's one where there's like a plastic bag just coming like out
I saw
out of like Mother Nature's mouth.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know.
I'm logging into Facebook now, so I'm gonna go to your page and then I'm gonna share the screen so I can bring up on screen here and show people what you're talking about.
Cool.
Oh no, it's my pleasure because your work needs to be seen. Okay, hold on 1 second. Connect to you. Oh my gosh. All right. Trying to do 100 things at once here. Okay, that's all me. Okay, wait. I'm on the wrong screen. Wrong screen, Rhonda. I'm good. Okay. Jesus God. All right, here we go. So I am going to share my screen. And I'm going to scroll down your Facebook page. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. And then that way. Okay, so this is what we're talking about. This body paint here is incredible. And I'm going to go pictures how I grab stuff for your flyer. Let's see. Okay. All right, okay. This is okay. Explain what this is.
So this is a look inspired by Mother Nature. It's very earthy. It deals a lot with the forestry elements. The neck is painted to look as if it's a piece of tree bark. And then in a picture of it, there's like a whatchamacallit, plastic bag coming out. There we go.
Yep.
And it's kind of symbolizing the dirt we're putting into Mother Nature herself and the treatment we have brought upon her.
Oh, wow. That's incredible.
Thank you.
All right. And let me go through some of your other, and I can't believe that. I mean, that's you. That's like so beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay. Now what is
that's my sister.
Okay.
So I did that one on her.
Okay.
And just she wanted something kind of like flowery and girly and stuff. And
awesome. All right, and let me go to I want to get to the here we go. The body paints one. Okay, the no justice. Okay, this is it right here. I wanted everyone to see this like clear. So explain. Okay, so I see now you're in front of your dad's painting. Okay.
So I experimented and painted myself enough to where I felt like I could blend into the canvas, because that was my main goal. I wanted to create a piece where I could blend into the canvas, but I also wanted it to have some sort of like significance or meaning. And to me, one of the best ways to spread like social justice and social movements is through art.
Yeah.
So
I definitely got to tell my niece Jordan about, I got to show her your pictures because she is a makeup person too. And she does all kinds of stuff like this.
That's awesome.
And Brianna, because like my family, my kids, I'm Italian and stuff, but all my kids are multiracial. Because when I was married, he was Black. And then my oldest daughter's dad is Puerto Rican. So yeah, so all of this stuff is definitely personal to all of us as well. Okay, and then I saw another one. I really like this one. This is
I like that one too. That's another one of his paintings.
Really?
He has a lot of them just like sitting up around the house and stuff, and they're awesome, and I just wanted to use them.
Okay. So explain the significance of this.
Well, this one, again, is another kind of ode to just like my dad's work and stuff, my ability to be able to use that. But it's also just showing the impact the coronavirus has had on our lives and how we wear a mask to show that you do care in my opinion. You care about other people around you, and it's one of a priority you should be making when you go outside.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And yeah, a lot of people don't, unfortunately. Now, this one is very unique. What is the significance of this one? Because you have a mask on, but it just blends right in.
So I did this one so it looked like almost just like it was completely like a painted portrait. So the mask was painted, everything was painted on, and the mask is almost like a part of you now. Like it kind of feels like it's a part of you. Like I know I'm walking around, and if I don't have a mask like with me, I'm like, what am I doing? Like I don't feel like I should be anywhere, and it just kind of feels like it's like hooked onto you, a part of our.
That's incredible. I like that perspective. I really do, because it really is. Everybody is saying, "Oh, they can't wait till things get back to normal." They're not. They're not going back to. They're not going back to the way they ever were before. Because even if everything is cleared up and they say everything is cool, I damn sure am still gonna wear a mask.
Say it means I don't have to do my lips.
Yeah,
or any makeup down here.
The place that there's a lot of people. Because it really brings awareness to our own health and our vulnerabilities.
Oh, for sure. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
All right, so this.
Oh, my little dude.
Yeah. Explain him.
Well, I love dinosaurs. I've always loved dinosaurs, and I wanted to make myself a little dinosaur puppet.
Okay, we'll go on the screen so you can see you actually have him. Okay.
So he's a little cartoon ankylosaur, and I found an ankylosaur.
What is that?
It's kind of like an small armored dinosaur.
Okay.
But yeah, I found a tutorial of how to make like foam dinosaurs online, and they're incredible. Like it's nothing compared to this, but this was my first try, and I love him. He's literally my favorite.
Awesome. Oh, I'm catching up with the comments here. Everyone's saying headphones should fix the echo. I don't know. That's for you. I don't have headphones, so. We're almost done with it. We made it this far.
It's true. We're doing pretty good.
So. All right, and let me see the other. Where's the one with the stilts? The stilts. It might be on your other side of your. Okay, so. All right, so this looks like this was a process to make that puppet, the black one you showed us.
Yes, very much so.
So you create the mold and everything. Okay. Very cool. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so that's the character, I guess.
Yes.
Mask. Okay. All right. Where is this? Okay, well, the stilts. You got a picture that you're on stilts. I think it's on your first page, maybe, because I put that on the flyer.
The Christmas looking one?
Yeah. Okay, wait, we're getting to Christmas here. I don't want to show all your business here. All right, let me get off of this and I'll just go. All right. Because you put the flyer up. There we go. Let's just bring this up. Okay. So this right here is the stilts, and you're a lot taller than that looks, because you're like standing next to a house.
Yes. The stilts make me about 7.5 feet tall.
Wow.
Give or take. Yeah. I love stilt walking.
How do you walk in those?
Practice. I started stilt walking in my senior year of high school, because I went to a theater. Of course, I happened at a theater convention.
Okay.
But I went to a theater convention and they had a stilt walking class, and I was awful. Like really, really terrible. Couldn't walk by myself, and
I can't barely walk in platform heels, let alone
me either.
Imagine.
But I went home, and for my birthday, I was like, "Hey, Mom," because I knew my dad probably wasn't gonna get it. I was like, "Mom, can you please get me stilts for my birthday? It's all I want. All I want are a pair of stilts." And I got them, and I spent many a day walking around my cul-de-sac, just trying to get better, falling. Like,
that's a long fall.
It's not bad if you know how to fall correctly. They call it the Jesus fall. You have to let your arms go backwards and fall to your knees.
Oh, wow.
It's like, for whatever reason, like, I'm not scared to fall like that. Like, it doesn't bother me because I know it's just going to be not a far drop.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Everybody is like loving you. They're like, you should make your smile your brand. They're talking about how I'm trying to catch up with all these comments. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, and Donovan says you're an amazing stilt walker.
Thank you.
And now we lost the picture, so I'm wondering if maybe my VPN dropped or something. No, we're not dropped because there's something going on connection-wise.
Mm-hmm.
All
yeah,
right. There we go. Closed Facebook. All right, so oh my gosh, we're actually winding down already. So what would you like to know about theater, puppetry, fantasy makeup, props that people may not already realize or know? What would you like?
Let's see. First of all, if I can start with theater. Theater is so much harder than I think anyone who isn't involved with it knows. There's so many intricate details that you just may not realize. And next time when you look at a show, watch a show, understand that every single element of it is structured. Every single element of it has some very skilled person working behind it. Whether it's the simple lighting, the lighting grid above or on the table side, all of it has been planned. All of it has been gone through with the director. It's an incredible feat. And personally, just there's nothing like live theater. Theater is beautiful. It's such a wonderful art form, and it deserves to be treasured more than it is.
I absolutely agree. I know, like when we read scripts, and I have to give honor to the screenwriters and script writers, because you got to literally write everything in from fade in and exactly where everything is positioned to everything, and you have to account for everything, and you don't realize it's like they always say the book has so much more detail than the movie, but you have to have enough detail in the book to create the visual.
Exactly.
In screenwriting or script writing in theater, somebody had to. And
precisely. It's amazing. And I guess we could say puppetry, all I can say is puppetry is not just for children. Puppetry, I get that from so many people. They're you make for children, right? And I love to make puppets for children. I do. But it's so much more than that. The fact is you can bring a giant King Kong-like creature onto a Broadway stage in real time, and you can sit in the audience as a member and watch it, is incredible and can only be done through puppetry.
Wow.
So it's
wow. So if somebody is watching, has an interest in something like this, where would they start to learn the skills? Like, what would you advise them to pursue, to become equipped with what you do?
So if you want to start small, you don't even really need a sewing machine. Just also depends on what puppet you want to make. But I'd start by doing your puppet research first. Go to Pinterest, look at different puppets, find different puppetry teachers online. Adam Kruger is one of the best ones that I've found. He's got Instagram, YouTube. He's shown me almost everything I need to know for the Miss Holly puppet and stuff. It's a matter of like research and looking around and trying to figure stuff out. You can always find cheaper ways to do things. It's never, just because you have to go a cheap route doesn't mean it's going to be bad.
No.
Speaking from a poor college student standpoint, we went cheaper. But yeah, puppetry is so accessible, and it's just a matter of looking into it.
Yeah. And then for the people that write, like Kina, who's commenting on, she writes poetry, and she's very expressive. Like she just wrote Marionette Smile. I don't know if he's considering that a name for you, for your puppet. I don't know. What do you mean by that, Kina? Marionette Smiles. How does somebody express what they want? They see in their head to get it out and create it.
I think one of the best things you can do first is draw what you want out. Get an idea of what you want it to look like. Then you can look more towards like sourcing your materials and try to match them from that point on. The key thing is just having a very clear vision of what you want. A lot of things go awry when people flip-flop very easily between two different things. It's happened to me, happening many, many times. But yeah, just having an idea exactly what you want, not wavering from it unless you really, really have to, then you're sure to get a product that you'd be really excited about.
Okay. Awesome. And if somebody wants to go to school for this, like you went through the theater route. So what kind of classes would they take? Would they go theater? Would they go art? Would they go puppet? Would they what?
So for puppetry, especially I'm looking into this for grad school in the next coming years. But UConn, University of Connecticut, has one of the only puppetry programs in the country. So there would be a great place to start. You'd be able to get the fundamentals down. You'd also be able to do theater there. That would be a great suggestion. But honestly, I had a great time at Georgia Southern. My professors were very, very, very supportive of me, and I learned a lot.
Awesome. Well, I'm so glad, that you have come here. She said she was just throwing out names for your own company or your brand. Marionette Smile. That's good. I like it. That is good. All right. So just again, how do people reach you? And I'll put up the comments the banners as you're saying it here.
Yeah. All right, so you can reach me through my email at Rachel Hartmann 6 at gmail.com. My phone number, 912-713-8470. And then my Instagram at RACHARTMN. My Instagram handle. I promise.
Very good. So, real fast, what's your favorite thing that you've created?
Favorite thing that I've created? Oof. One of my favorite things I've created is a skull goblet in which the characters on stage had to drink another member's blood out of. It was for a play called Master and Margarita, which we did at our university. That was so cool. One of my favorite things.
I bet. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Rachel, for being my guest tonight. I've learned an incredible amount, and I'm sure everybody else has. Guys, know there was some echo and stuff. Hey, it just is what it is. It's been storming and all this. Who knows what the reason is right now? But we got through it, so that's what's important. And we look beautiful. That's all that matters. But thank you so much, Rachel. And I cannot wait to continue our conversation and talk to you more.
Yes. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
You
Bye,
are so
guys.
welcome. Bye, everybody. Everybody,
Bye.
hire her. Hire this chick. Oh, wrong way. Hire her. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
You're welcome.